Hi, guys. It's Dr. Belinda George, and I'm here for Tucked in Tuesdays. Let me go ahead and make sure that I spread share all of the shares. Let's see. I was listening to a TikTok right before I came on. So let me make sure I have that I'm going live. Perfect. Let me do that now. Fix that. So my aunt and everyone else can know when I read. So let's get this. Let's see. I think I accidentally sent it somewhere. There we go. There's my live. And you guys, if you put in where you're coming from, remember we're doing the 50 states. So if anybody is interested in the 50 states, I'm your girl, giving you all the information. Let me go live. Says we're having trouble. Let me edit that. Let me fix Facebook because I did something wrong. So let me fix that for you guys. Stream it on my personal page. I'm here, but I'm working, trying to fix something. Okay, so I evidently archived my video. So let me see if I can fix that on my end. Let's see, because I archived it, and that's not good. Slip of the finger and mess that right up. So what I'll do is I'll go live right here. Let's see. Because people are going to be like, what happened? So let me fix that. Let me move my one from Tucked in Tuesdays, because I probably wiped out a few people with that. And then we'll get started on the book. So thank you for your patience. Let me fix this. There we go. Let me fix that real quick. Perfect. All right. So now it's live. All righty. So, guys, good evening. Hello, hello, hello. So it's Dr. George here with Tucked in Tuesdays, and I have the book that I've been reading, State Capitals, and it's explore the capital cities of our 50 states. Now we have several that we have to cover today, because we're trying to get this book done, and we're going to slip in some Christmas books in no time. So we'll get those. So get your little ones, gather them around. If you're trying to cook or get something done, just make sure that they're seated in front of me. I'll babysit tonight. Babysitting is on me. So the state that we're going to start with today is no other than Connecticut. So I don't believe that I have ever been to Connecticut. So let me share my screen with you all. Let's see if I can show you a little bit of my little map of places I have been. So let's see. There it is. So right here on my screen, it tells you these are the places that I have been already traveled. So let's look at Connecticut, Hartford, Connecticut, to be exact. So this is the capital. Hartford is the capital. It was settled first in 1623 as a Dutch trading post, and then in 1636 by English settlers. Hartford is one of the oldest cities in the U.S. It is also the birthplace of the first ever constitution to be introduced in the American colonies. In the 19th century, it became a center for manufacturing. But today, insurance and financial services are key to the city's economy. That's awesome. Didn't know that. Capital population, 125,000. State population, 3.6 million. Other large cities, Bridgeport, New Haven, Stamford. Date entered the Union January 9th, 1788. State flower, mountain laurel. State animal, sperm whale. And Connecticut sits in this little corner up here somewhere. That's where it is. And they have a picture of the state flag right there. So the key places to see in Connecticut: over 100 acres of green space and formal gardens, including the famous Rose Garden, is in Connecticut. It's called Elizabeth Park. 2, visit the historic home of the author of Uncle Tom's Cabin, which now houses exhibits about her life. And number 2 is Harriet Beecher House Center. Howe Center. 3, Mark Twain wrote both The Adventures of Tom Sawyer and The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn while living next door to Harriet Beecher Stowe. So, Mark Twain House and Museum. It's the 3rd stop. The 4th stop is the Connecticut State Capitol. Visitors can tour the historic Capitol and even watch the state legislature in session. Number 5, the Museum of Connecticut History. Discover events crucial to both Connecticut's and the nation's history. The museum shares space with the State Library and the State Supreme Court. 6, Connecticut Old State House. It was built in 1796. This former government building is known as the spot where Connecticut's democracy was born. Number 7 is Connecticut Science Center. Hartford's state-of-the-art science museum is powered by a fuel cell that runs on natural gas. And 8 is Wadsworth Atheneum Museum of Art. There's tons of paintings and sculptures of the country's oldest continuously operating art museum, housed in a unique castle-like building. Well, Connecticut has piqued my interest a little bit, just a little. So I am going to look up the Wadsworth Atheneum Museum of Art so you guys can actually see the building of how it looks. So let me pull that up because it says looks like a castle, and indeed it does. So let me get that up. Let me share that screen because that's pretty awesome. So let me share this tab. There it is. So that is pretty neat. That is a pretty neat building, I must say. That's an awesome building. So that is Connecticut. Now we're moving right along to Delaware. Remember, all the little places I have been are right here. So Delaware is located right in here. And it is, the capital is Dover. Delaware has the honor of calling itself the first U.S. state because it was the first to approve the Constitution. Didn't know that. Good evening, my first comment of the night. Good evening, Ava, Ari, and Pop Pop. No turkey. Oh, and no turkey, Pop Pop. That's right, Pop Pop. No turkey. So, less familiar is the meeting place chosen by the delegates sent to reach this decision, the Golden Fleece Tavern, which looked out across the green Dover Central Public Square. The green is still the heart of the city's historic district. Matipa, hello, how are you? How are you? Good evening, hello. Where are you watching from, Lindsay? And so I'll keep going. So the capital population, 36,000. State population, 898,000. Other large cities, Rehoboth Beach, I think that's how you say it, Newark, Wilmington. And Lindsay says she's from New Jersey. So welcome. I don't think we're going to talk about, I don't know. We'll see. Date entered the Union December 7th, 1787. They have a birthday coming up. Happy early birthday, Delaware. State flower, peach blossom. State animal, the gray fox. So a couple of places in Delaware to visit. The first, meet barnyard animals, visit an old-style general store, and help honor and preserve the state's farming history. Number 2, that is called the Delaware Agricultural Museum and Village. Then you can hop over to Woodburn, and that was built in 1798. This house has been the official residence of Delaware's governor since 1965. So apparently the governor stays in Woodburn. That is, and I'm going to pull that up because that's a fun fact. We'll see where the governor of Delaware has lived all that time. So we'll look at that. So, oh, that's a nice one. So let's go here. Look at the house. So I'll let that play. So there, I have a little screen sharing for you all to look at that changing. So that's the governor's house. Number 3, known as a park without boundaries. This collection of sites is important to Delaware's history and culture. And that is called the First State Heritage Park. And then number 4 is Johnson Victrola Museum, known as learn about the early days of sound recording and explore a collection of early record players. And so this place looks pretty neat in the book. And the reason I'm not showing the book, I'll show it in a little bit, but I'm trying to do things so you can see it a little bit better. I do believe in virtual education. It's mainly why I started this. So I want to expose you to things you may not get to visit. So there's the Victrola Museum and some of the things in it. You may notice the RCA dog. I noticed it right away, the RCA dog. So number 5, this is the Dover International Speedway, and it is the squeal of brakes and the roar of the crowds accompany the NASCAR races held here. Didn't know Delaware had NASCAR races. Learn something new every day. Number 6, Old State House. It was completed in 1791. This beautiful building on the green was the first home of Delaware state government. And number 7, the Air Mobility Command Museum. Visitors come to explore a collection of historic aircraft that were once used for refueling and delivering supplies. Number 8 is John Dickinson Plantation. The home of one of the country's founding fathers. It's now a museum where visitors can learn about his life. So lots of cool things there. And of course, I want to keep this up so as I go along, you can see all of the places that Dr. George has went. So here are the pages from the book. So everything you wanted to see about Connecticut, all there. And then there's Delaware. So we're moving on to our third state of tonight. And the third state of tonight is Florida. That's right here. Let's see, let me go to that's right here. So Florida is here. So we're visiting Florida now. Capital, Tallahassee. From season to season, the temperature in Tallahassee varies more than almost anywhere else in Florida. It has hot summers and cool winters through Tallahassee residents, though Tallahassee residents only experience measurable snowfall about once every 17 years. The city's biggest 24-hour snowfall back in 1958 measured less than 3 inches. So, capital population, 182,000. State population, 18.8 million. That's a lot of people. Date entered the Union, March 3rd, 1845. State flower, orange blossom. And state mammal, Florida panther. And I have a question here, and he says, do you know how the U.S. acquired Delaware? No, but if you know, put it in the chat and I'll talk about it. And if not, I can look that up for you as well and find out. So Florida, we talked about being that little state hanging off the end of the peninsula. So first, number 1, our first stop will be at the Tallahassee Museum. Discovers Florida's unique wildlife and history, then ride a zip line across the cypress swamp. Number 2 is going to be Leon Tink's geological area. Spot eels, rare crustaceans, and more while exploring the area's trails, caves, and sinkholes. Oh my, lions and tigers and bears. Oh my, well, crustaceans, I should say. So let's see, Leon, I think it's Tink's. Let's see if we can pull that up for you. Leon Tink's geological geological area, Tallahassee. Let's see. And there it is. Sure as day. There it is. Right there. Right in the flesh. So let me put that up so you can see that. So there that is. And it says, number 3, the third stop, is going to be the Downtown Public Art Walk. And it's the downtown Tallahassee, where it has plenty of sculptures, murals, and monuments. And this scenic walk takes visitors past some of the highlights. Number 4 is going to be the Meek Eaton Black Archives. More than 5,000 artifacts and 500,000 documents tell the story of African American history and culture. How cool is that? Number 5 is going to take us over to the Botanic Garden to see more native flowers and trees, or to go kayaking, fishing, or swimming. And that is at the Alfred B. McClay Garden State Park. Number 6, Tallahassee Automobile and Collectibles Museum. Explore historic cars and motorbikes, as well as antique clocks, pianos, cash registers, and even a few Batmobiles. Now, for some reason, I want to say that I went there, but I'm not sure if I did. I did go somewhere in Florida, but I did not go anywhere in Florida. So let me go ahead and see what that place looks like. Tallahassee. And guys, I know a lot of kids are on phones, but take those. When I was young, we had to look everything up in an encyclopedia. And so this is history right at your fingertips. Guys, you can Google anything and go anywhere in the world without leaving your home, your bed, the best place ever. So it's called virtual education is what it's called. So I'm going to let you all see that tab and it'll stream through there. And let me continue talking. Stop number 7, this historic mansion where poems by Llewellyn Knott are tied to the furniture with satin ribbons showcases life in the 1930s. The Knott House Museum. That's pretty cool. Knott House Museum. That is Knott House Museum. Poems. I'm going to look that up and see if I can. Poems, they're tied to furniture. Tied to furniture. And then we have one more state. Let's see. So here's one of hers. Let's see. Let me share that. All right. So this is tie the poem to a chair with rope. So maybe I didn't look up the right thing. It's always good to ask. Instead, before I click on something that's not child friendly, let's just do this. Let's just look here at the Museum of Florida History. And so we have a picture here. That's the Knott House. How about that? So very big, beautiful home, and it looks like it does in the picture. And our last stop is Cascades Park in the heart of downtown Tallahassee. This urban oasis provides trails, fountains, and play areas, as well as a huge amphitheater. So lots of things to do in Tallahassee. So let me go back to this tab here, because our next state is Georgia. And Georgia is located right, I don't want to tell you, right here. State of Georgia, right above Florida. So we're visiting Georgia now. Capital is Atlanta, and that's one of the states I've been to. Capital population is 420,000, 9.7 million in the state. Other large cities, Macon, Savannah, Athens. Date entered the Union January 2nd, 1788. State flower, Cherokee rose. State animal, white-tailed deer. So, as one of the South's preeminent cities. Atlanta was preeminent cities. Atlanta was a battleground in the Civil War. A century later, the city was again the scene of conflict when civil rights leaders directed manpower to Atlanta with the hopes of demanding equality for Black Americans both in the city and across the nation. The changes eventually brought to Atlanta laid the groundwork for what would later become a successful bid to host the 1996 Olympics. So, the first stop we'll make is the Atlanta History Center. Take a trip through town, exploring historic houses like the Swan House, hands-on exhibitions, vibrant gardens, interactive activities, and more. Our second stop is the Margaret Mitchell House. Learn what life was like for the author before, during, and after writing Gone with the Wind. Didn't know she lived there. I think I did, but in my head, I didn't. You know how you think, I do know that, but I don't know why I know it, but I do know it. So let's go ahead and look here at her home. So this is the home. And when you see the book, it's kind of like it. And so we're looking through her house. So it takes you a little, thank you, Jeff Neely. And so that's her house. And then we look at the next picture. And there's more. There's a little typewriter. Pretty sure she used to write. And that's the house. And then that's the inside of the house. Adam Story provided that picture. And there's another picture of the house. And the Margaret Mitchell House, the historical sign there. And Ariel Wing, thanks for that picture of that bedroom. And Eves, that's a beautiful painting. Thank you for capturing that. Hadi, that's a huge house on the backside. And so those are some brownstones. So wow, pretty neat, right? So I'll put it back on the house right there. And so at this house, she wrote Gone with the Wind. Pretty awesome, right? So number 3, the Centennial Olympic Park. Centennial Olympic Park. Yes, I haven't actually walked on it, but I've seen it several times when we went to Atlanta, mainly to visit the Ron Clark Academy. It's not on here, but I'm just saying, if you're an educator or a parent that wants a world-renowned school, I'm just saying, I don't get any endorsements from it, but I have went, and let me just tell you, it is a game changer. If you don't know what it is, look up Ron Clark Academy. That was a freebie. But anyway, that's how I saw the Olympic Park. My sister-in-law lives there, so she gets to see it all the time, I'm pretty sure. So let me go ahead and share this tab so that can scroll across so you can see Georgia and all the pretty things that Georgia has. And it was built for the Olympic Games. This park is now the center of a thriving tourist district with live music and events. So you can see that as it goes through the pictures. We'll scroll through and let you see all of those pictures, which is pretty cool. And I'll get to that comment, Pop. I do see it. Number 5, number 4, Hammond's House Museum. The historic house is a mecca for people interested in the beauty and cultural significance of the art of the African diaspora. I may not be pronouncing that right, but I'm not going to give up. Number 6, Martin Luther King Jr. National Historic Site. The many visitors to Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s boyhood home come to learn his story and walk in his footsteps. If you haven't done that tour, please do. Number 7 is going to be the Morningside Nature Preserve. Take an urban forest and take a walk across a suspension bridge to enjoy a bird's eye view of Peachtree Creek. And the last stop is the Jimmy Carter Presidential Library and Museum. And I skipped, yes. I didn't skip it. View a life-size replica of the Oval Office and experience a little of what a day in the life of a president was like for the 39th president. So a couple of things I do want to highlight is the Atlanta Botanical Garden, only because I want you to see this. And apparently they do things at Christmas. So here's that tab. So here are some things from it. Very pretty. Oh, that's so pretty. Look at that. Why did I know this existed? I'm just, I read these books for the first time. Look at that. I have to go back. I have to go back to Atlanta for that. So let's show this from Pop Pop. He said the European visitors convinced the Delaware tribes to give them all the land that a man could run in a day, I believe. That person ran a straight line, and visitors did the old rectangular magic to total out that distance. Then proceeded to give tribes blankets and clothing of people with smallpox. That's not nice. That's not nice at all. But it's history, and I'll research that. So the next thing that was pretty awesome. So, guys, I think I've covered all the states. Oh, no, I have one more. My favorite state, Hawaii. It's the next state, Hawaii. So, guys, I actually went to Hawaii, and I actually have some pages, and I'm actually going to share those pages from Hawaii. Now, I do have pictures from other trips, but my take on Hawaii was a little bit different because I got to do some things that most people don't do when they go there. So hopefully I can pull up those pictures and you can see those, my experience with that. All right. So here we go. Oh, I do have some pictures. Yay, I do. Okay. So yes, I do have some pictures. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and put this picture up. Yes, Hawaii is a good one. So let me go ahead and share my picture of Hawaii. There we go. That's us in Hawaii. That's Melvin and I in Hawaii. So Hawaii, the capital is Honolulu, and the Hawaiian Islands were settled over 1,000 years ago. Papa said he has some pictures. In 1809, King, I'm not even going to try and pronounce it because I won't get it right. I will try. Kamhamaha, probably said that wrong, moved his royal court to what is now Honolulu. Queen Liliuokalani became Hawaii's last monarch in 1893 when a coup led by U.S. citizens and backed by U.S. troops in Honolulu successfully unseated her. More than 60 years later, Hawaii became the 50th and final U.S. state. Capital population, 337,000. State population, 1.4 million. Hilo, Mililani, Kailua is other large cities. Date entered the Union, August 21st, 1959. State flower, yellow hibiscus. State animal, Hawaiian monk seal. And Hawaii, if we go back to Hawaii and we look at this tab, Hawaii, it's going to be these little trail of states there, these little trail of islands. That's what it is. So the first thing we're going to visit is the Bernice Pahahi Bishop Museum. It's the premier neutral and cultural history institution in the Pacific, has a mandate to serve and represent the interests of Native Hawaiians. Now, what I also have is another picture here of a sunset that I took with my phone. Very pretty, 2011. Number 2 is the Iolani Palace, the only official royal residence in the U.S. The palace, built in the 1800s, is one of the most recognizable buildings in Hawaii. Number 3, got to go there, Pearl Harbor. The USS Arizona Memorial commemorates the lives lost during the surprise attack on Pearl Harbor in 1941. And that was very, very moving to see that one. Very, very moving. Yeah. Let me go ahead and see if I can find some pictures of that. Because we were able to see the oil still leaks Still to this day. Very, very touching, but I don't think I have a picture that I can find right away. But if I do, I'll make sure to post that picture. Let me continue on. The USS Arizona Memorial commemorates the lives lost during the surprise attack on Pearl Harbor in 1941. Number 4, King Kamehameha the first united the Hawaiian Islands into the one royal kingdom in 1810. 1810. That's a long time ago. I must say, that's a very long time ago. Number 5 is Waikiki Beach. And remember that picture that I showed you all earlier? That picture was taken on Waikiki Beach. And I'm trying to find that picture, but it was actually taken at Waikiki Beach. So let me see if I can put it in Waikiki Beach. And let's see if I can get that picture up. Pretty awesome, right? To see. I wasn't blessed when I was much younger to do a lot of traveling, but I get to now, and it's pretty awesome to go back and see. But there's also lots of things I have not seen. And I'm going over my Tucked In Tuesday time. So my next site is number 6. Every year, thousands hike to the top of this volcanic tuff cone, which dominates the Honolulu sky, and that is Diamond Head. So Diamond Head is found there. The next one is going to be dedicated to safeguarding fragile marine life. The bay is home to coral, fish, sea turtles, and more, and that's the Hanayuma Bay Nature Preserve. And number 8, the last one, the Shangri-La Museum. We have a Shangri-La here, but they have a Shangri-La museum, Pop Stop said. He cried also. Yeah, it's very touching. Number 8, American heiress and philanthropist Doris Duke's former home is a center for Islamic arts and cultures. So lots of things to do in those states. Guys, thank you for tuning in. It means the world, even if it's just one person. I absolutely appreciate the engagement, the commitment. Thank you so much. I'm going to go ahead and put Diamond Head on there so you guys can see it. I just did a Google search, and there's Diamond Head, and it'll go through everything. So those are the states for this week. So we talked about Colorado, Connecticut, Delaware, Florida, Georgia, and Hawaii. All of those states. So we've talked about so far. Hi, Ms. Rumsey. We've talked about so far. We've done Alabama, Alaska, Arizona, Arkansas, California, Colorado, Connecticut, Delaware, Florida, Georgia, and Hawaii. So lots of sharing. And I have Lindsay said we're here. So I'm so glad that all of you got to join us tonight. So next week, we're going to be reading about Idaho, Illinois, Indiana, Iowa, and Kansas. So those are our states for next week. Guys, my biggest takeaway from this book this week is that we never stop traveling. And even if you can't afford to travel virtually. Travel the world via the internet. There's lots of free things. So guys, if nobody else tells you, Dr. George loves you. Have a good night. Rest well on purpose. Good night, guys.